Hey guys, this is Lisa Phillips. I am a spiritual teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a channeling medium, and I also run a pretty big real estate investing company where I empower Black people to invest in the Black community successfully for cash flow, financial freedom, and freedom from oppression and racism. Actually, is the side benefits of that freedom. But this is my healing channel, and I am coming today on an important topic. I just finished rollerblading on the beach. I live about 5 minutes from here. Manifested that. Always wanted it. You're going to hear me say I manifested that because everything, like my whole life, is like, yeah, I did manifest that, didn't I? And to give you guys an idea of how much you want to manifest in your life too. But today is about being faithful and obedient. And as a spiritual healer, I get a lot of clients who I work with, and it's sort of amazing how much work or help they would not need if they were just more obedient to their intuition and to their self. And it's all about that. And when you look at people who, I think spiritually grow the most, it's always about coming back to self and be like, just follow the guidance. So I'm going to turn a little bit so we get more sunlight on my face. Oh, look at that. Right, and it's always for those who can be more obedient and just follow the guidance. So I work with people all the time. I pretty much do 2 to 3 healings a day. I'm an angelic healer, so I invite the angels in, and I set the space, they perform the work. So I don't want you to think it's Lisa, although they do use my energy and power, which has, because of my practices in high vibration, is significant on its own, let alone when I invite them in. But they do the work, and time after time, I love working with them, but there's a realization about half of the issues they have would completely disappear if they would just follow the guidance they were given inside. And I want to explain my journey, where I'm at, and then where I see my clients, just to give you that juxtaposition on why I'm doing this and why it's something for you to keep in mind. So for the most part, I'm just going to say, I'm the type of person, if my intuition tells me to do something, I do it. I don't hesitate. I have faith and trust. I learned that at a very young age, maybe when I was around 18, before that, there were sometimes when I got a feeling in my stomach or belly or my mind, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't hang out with these people, you shouldn't walk down that street, and I ignored it. And too many times when I ignored it, I had pretty quick and severe realizations that you shouldn't have ignored the voice. Your voice told you to not do that. And I was in very uncomfortable situations with very uncomfortable people that could have really went sour. There are other people who were in those same positions where it did go sour, either men or drugs or this, or just people you didn't want to be around, right? And it was getting in a dicey situation. So I will just say, I had a practice early on of following my intuition and trusting my gut, just because I saw every single time I knew I shouldn't have done something, and I did it anyways. It was very quick, in which I learned quickly I shouldn't. So that was since I was 18, and I'm in my 30s now, late 30s. And the reality is that I've been doing this for about 20 years. I've been following my intuition and learned to trust in its guidance. Because of that, my life has followed a pretty path. I generally don't have too many toxic relationships. They're just cut so quickly because when I get that hit, this doesn't serve you, you need to let that go, I don't fight myself. And so now I'm a healer. I've healed myself, and the universe and source or God, all three, generally attract to me people who are going through what I've already gone through. The universe and my spirit guides are very divine in making sure that I'm a good match for anyone who comes to me. And pretty much they're people who are already pretty intuitive, who already have psychic gifts and ability. They're just trying to go to a higher level. So they've done all the work on their own, but having angels come in and show you the journeys and the visions is just the next level that they're trying to get to. And not just my clients, but even in life. And it always comes down to, are the signs there that you should leave that guy? Did you know before this happened that maybe you shouldn't go down there? Or you shouldn't leave with this person? Did you know this? And every time you ask, every single time there's confirmation, they had complete signs of what they needed to do. Every single time. They were like, I know the signs are all there, but I'm hoping, consistently. And it's just so interesting because you have me who's just like, all right, intuition said no, it's no. My intuition told me, and my angels were like, hey, I was complaining about my ex at the time, and they were like, well, this relationship no longer serves you. I was like, what? I even cried a little bit. But within like 2 days, I was able to recognize, that's true. I'm trying to hold on to a dream, but we're different people now. After our child came, we just had 2 different goals and directions, and we're each trying to pull each other the other way. It wasn't fun or happy. It wasn't fun or happy anymore. And me trying to get him to be my way and him trying to get me to be his way was not working. I mean, I refused and he refused. And within 2 days, I was able to hear it. So that was sort of like, they're letting me know, like, the way to go for my highest good. And I did it. And I say that because I don't think there's anywhere else in the world who can be told by their angels and guides that it is time to let go and just let go of a marriage with a child. Okay? Like, I don't think there's that many people. I'm going to say it. I think I'm a little bit more faithful and obedient. And the trust that I have is so grounded and so strong within 2 days. And we started going through the process of separation, and then we're in the middle of the divorce right now. And the divorce is for the best for everyone. But I look around and I see all these people in relationships. It's like 5 years past this due date, 2 years past this due date. They're not happy. They're trying to force it. And when I get a little deeper, like, hey, do you think it's time to go? Every single time there's a yes. Every single time there's a, hey, yeah, the signs are all there. I've been asking and asking and asking and asking. They won't change. He hasn't changed. She hasn't changed. And it's always like this for me as a healer coming in. I'm like, all I can say is that if the signs are there, why aren't you listening? Why aren't you obedient to that? Has your intuition served you wrong? Because sometimes it has served you wrong, but it was right. Like, my intuition told me buying a really expensive house when I was younger. And I couldn't afford it. It was a good thing. But what happened when I bought that really expensive house was that I got a foreclosure, but I also learned how to invest in really low cost properties for cash flow. And now I have a 50,000 person platform for it. So even when it seemed wrong at the time, it was still right, because now I've had more impact in the Black communities amongst Black professionals than anything else I could have done, because I made that one mistake that my intuition was like, yeah, this is a good idea. So even when it's wrong, it's right. And so I look at these people and it's just like, you have all the signs, you know what to do. You're just giving out hope. And I just want to say this to everyone out there who's listening. Society programmed into, especially when it comes to relationships or jobs, that you need this job or you need this relationship. But I'm just going to implore you now to commit to your own self. Commit to the voice inside that says this isn't right. And this is the hardest part. And you're going to get to this part on your own and your own journey. But commit to the faith that if you follow your heart and your intuition, lean into the fact that it's okay. You can lose that job and find another one that's better suited. And if you look at all the testimonies, you'll find out every time someone listened and finally just gave up because they were committed to their happiness, they're faithful and obedient to that voice inside instead of being disrespectful to that voice inside. Every single time they're like, I thought I hit rock bottom, but then I got the best job ever. And I couldn't have got the job if I was still at the old one. Or I just found the love of my life and I couldn't have got this if I was with this other one. And I just found the perfect school. I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't have left it. Right? Like, your biggest spiritual, to me, the biggest spiritual lesson is learning to let go when something no longer serves you or makes you happy or gives you that spark. I have it just in spades. I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to claim it. Like, I'm not happy. I'm out. I'm not trying to... I'm trying to find like the camp. Yeah, I'm not trying to make this thing work when it's obviously not working. I'm good. I'm also a Pisces. I'm also a big fish. So as we like to say, we will swim the fuck away. We will just leave. We are not trying to stay in any relationship all that long. That doesn't make us happy. As fish, we're really already set up and geared towards going with the flow, and resistance, anger, hatred, angst, that's not flow. So we're already more inclined to be like, this isn't flow, this is upstream, let me get going. And I say this as being obedient and faithful because I can get really big orders. The other day, I got introduced to a guy and I hit it off so well. And I found out he was my twin flame. And then when I channeled the angels and my ancestors on it, they're like, this is your life partner, right? That's a big thing to hear. And I know other people would probably be like, I don't know about that. But for me, I'm like, okay. I see it. I see where we complement each other. I know we just met. But I mean, you guys will see as the time plays out. Like, I'm going to be making these videos. You'll see the truth of it when I'm still, still there, or still working through it, or still has that. But not everyone can just have that level of faith and trust. But I'm telling you, like, once you get to that level of faith, once I started doing that obedience, my life is just, it's not perfect, but dang, I end up and manifest what I want. And I want to reframe the conversation from, following your intuition, which is what you're doing, to like being obedient to yourself, your higher self that put you on this earth. Can you think of it like that? Can you think of like, my spirit put me here? The least I can do is sort of follow what they're saying. And when you follow what they're saying, I mean, I'm 100% sure that your life will end up better than it is. It keeps getting better. Okay. So this is just, I'm going to end it there. I have more coming. I want to tell you how I went into twin flame addiction and got out of twin flame addiction real quick by coming back to my center. You're going to notice with all these things, any spiritual lessons I had to learn or grow, I just go through them quick. I don't know. I'm just, and that's just because I'm so committed to I am committed to my happiness. So if something's not making me happy, other people will just endure. I'm like, what are you enduring for? I'll be like, all right, I don't like this. Why don't I like it? What can I do, if anything? Because I can't force anyone to do anything. If you go back to that, your happiness, that you can't force anyone to do anything, but you can only control yourself, pretty much any spiritual lesson that comes, you're gonna get through it pretty quickly and keep evolving. But we're gonna go on that in the next video. So I hope this was helpful, just a perspective on being faithful and obedient. Now I know I'm extra faithful and obedient, but I will say my life is purely blessed in all aspects. I'm not one to put how much money I make or what my house looks like or what I'm doing. I'm not like that. But I mean, you're just going to have to trust me as the time goes and as the time flies, as my book sells, as I get asked and invited to more speaking engagements. I guess you're just going to have to see that it is right in alignment with my spirit and goal, which is to be a spiritual teacher and healer. So thank you guys. I hope this gave some perspective. Bye.